Glad you could join us today on EarthFowl. Welcome to the program. I'm Ayola Kasim. Cowpea, or black-eyed pea, commonly called beans, is high in protein and several vitamins and minerals. Nigeria is the largest grower and consumer of the crop, but current realities have shown that the country is experiencing demand deficit of over 500,000 tons, while national productivity average has stagnated at 350 kilograms per hectare. Recently, the government released Bt cowpea, which is said to be resistant to the pod borer insect. It is a genetically modified seed, and that is where some say the problem is. For the challenge of food security and climate change, what is the place of GMOs in our food chain? That's our focus today on the program. Just stay with us.
Sulaiman Aliyu is a cowpea farmer in Zaria, a major city in Kaduna State in northern Nigeria. He has been farming for more than 25 years. And for him, the problem has remained the same over the years: poor yield, drudgery, and low profit.
It's about 25 to 26 years since we have been farming. For now, we only make do with the local variety, which isn't giving us the volume of yield we expect. One goes into the beans farming every season, but have very little to show for it at the moment.
Cowpea
grain is inexpensive and nutritious. It serves as a cheap form of protein for both rural and urban consumers. In Nigeria, cowpeas are consumed directly as a nutritious meal at homes and restaurants, often as a porridge or pudding. It can also be combined with cooked rice cereal or prepared as cowpea cake. Cowpeas are consumed another way as a fast food called akara, sold along Nigeria's roadsides. It's also used as fodder in some parts of the country. The cowpea plant is attacked by pests during every stage of its life cycle. Aphids extract juice from its leaves and stems while the crop is still a seedling, and also spread the cowpea mosaic virus. Flower thrips feast on it during flowering. Pod borers attack its pods during pod growth, and broadleaf weasels attack the post-harvested seeds. The plants are also attacked by diseases caused by fungi, bacteria, and viruses. Parasitic weeds, striga, and electra choke the plant's growth at all stages, and nematodes prevent the roots from absorbing nutrients and water from the soil. Most cowpea crops are rain-fed, and although it is drought-tolerant, cowpea farmers in the dry savanna areas of sub-Saharan Africa obtain low yields estimated at about 350 kilograms per hectare. But Sulaiman and scores of farmers like him are being introduced to a new seed variety, a variety just developed by the Institute for Agricultural Research at the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria.
But with the program in place now, we see some improvement because of new variety of seeds we get now. We are hopeful that those with the program will give priority to the new variety of seeds so that we can in turn make huge profits.
After going through the relevant trials, the federal government, through the nation's Biotechnology Regulatory Agency, the National Biosafety Management Agency, recently gave it approval for the environmental release of the nation's first genetically modified food crop, which is the pod borer resistant cowpea. This has been genetically modified to resist the insect pest Maruca vitrata.
One of the highest source of cost for growing beans for farmers will tell you, is the need to keep insecticides. Now, having tried everything and except insecticide, it became very difficult for us as a scientist. Unfortunately, none of 15,000 different strains of beans turned out to be resistant. So the only thing available for us towards developing a new variety of beans that will protect itself against this insect without having to spray insecticide is through the use of the genetic engineering technique, which is called genetic modification.
This move by the government pitches Nigeria as the first West African country to genetically modify the food crop, which is currently going through the final process for its commercialization. The supporters of this process says the success of commercialization of Bt cowpea will make Nigeria the leader in the deployment of the revolutionary technology in addressing the challenge affecting the nation's food chain, and will no doubt be used as a model for other West African nations in the deployment of the technology.
The result in terms of resistance to food borer was excellent, and also in terms of yield was also superb, because it was about 3 to 4 times yield increase over the conventional type. Also, it has a very good fodder and it's early maturing. So you can think of that it's a kind of variety that will be a modern day variety, because it will adapt the current climate change that we are also experiencing.
We keep them here under controlled temperature.
Hamza Adamu is the technologist in charge of the insectary at the Institute for Agricultural Research at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
I'm telling you, I'm the one who handled this transgenic right from the beginning of the project. I find it very, very interesting. More especially if I go to the field to put this insect on the plant. You put the insect on transgenic and the non-transgenic. If you come to evaluate or assess what has happened to the different lines, you will find out that these insects, you will see them dead on the transgenic cowpea without harming the cowpea. But in the other lines, which are non-transgenic, you will see them, they are just feeding the leaves, feeding the flower buds, feeding the flowers, just scattering everything. So I say, that means this technology is working. And if people can accept it, I'm telling you, we will have a cure to our problem of food insufficiency in the country.
But there are some that are preaching caution in the adoption of genetic modification in the food chain.
We're not against science. The reality of the life world we live in now is that we need a lot of scientific improvement to be able to grow enough food. Whether the science is right or not, that this has raised agitations in other parts of the world. That there are court cases in places in Europe, in India, that there are countries that are saying no to this same thing, and there are allegations of its effects, even as close as Côte d'Ivoire on their cotton industry. If this exists, then it means that you as a government owe it to Nigerians to allay any fears and to open it for robust discussion.
The report of the assessment of the risk of Bt cowpea to non-target organisms based on the history of safe use of Bt proteins, as well as the fauna associated with cultivated and wild cowpea in sub-Saharan Africa, results indicate negligible effect on non-target organisms.
The release of GMOs into the environment and the marketing of GM foods have resulted in a public debate in many parts of the world. This debate is likely to continue, but the big question that every scientist, politician, businessman, and consumer must answer is, on the long run, are GMOs good for man and environment? That's our program for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.